Here, let's talk about the games happened on Friday. We had a bunch of games. Let's just jump right into it. The first game is the Orlando Magic. It was an upset. Beat the Charlotte Hornets. At Charlotte. Sorry. It's obviously pretty impressive. They actually got Jalen Suggs back. At some point, I think he's gonna start. He played okay, counting stat wise, but had 6 turnovers. He's a guy that we could look to pick up as his minutes ramp up. But even when he played 30 minutes, I don't expect him to be like a consistent top 90 or 80 player. Maybe 100, maybe even worse, because he's got bad efficiency and doesn't really provide, a lot of defensive stats or great at efficiency. But we can keep an eye on him because rookies do improve as season goes on. Wagner went off 28 minutes, had 26 points, but just one time. And Terrence Ross, I don't think we need to really stream here any longer. As everybody start coming back. Cole Anthony with Jalen Suggs back, he played just 29 minutes. I wouldn't worry too much. Was in some foul trouble. Not the best game, but still had 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and a steal. He's still gonna be great. In my opinion, top 60, 70. Really, really solid counting stats. Do have some issues with his efficiency. But if you sold high on him earlier this season, top 40, top 35, which he was, that would be a great trade. Garrett Harris continues to play solid, 4 threes, 2 steals, 18 points, just hold until he started losing minutes. Robin Lopez started because Mo Bamba was out, Wendell Carter Jr. was out. You could stream him, and Okiki, you could also stream him. Okiki had a pretty good game, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block from that perspective. But he's going to lose all the value once guys start coming back. Fred Wagner, another great game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. Every other game he puts up pretty good lines, but still not consistent enough. Still like too many games where he is not doing too much. Regardless, great. Charlotte Hornets, they lost. LaMelo Ball, 23 points, 8 assists, 3 steals. I mean, three steals is really good. Hopefully he can pick up where he left off before he got COVID. Lately, he has not been great. Still on the season, if we look at the whole season, he's the 12th ranked player. But in the last 2 weeks, 123rd continues to be a buy low. Terry Rozier struggled with efficiency. Yep. 4-3, still got 19 points. He took 23 field goals. Try to sell this guy every time he goes off, if you can. Mason Plumlee, 27 minutes, 10 rebounds and a steal. Heyman and PJ Washington, they just kind of eat into each other's minutes. If one of those guys is out, I would stream the other guy. Otherwise, I don't think there's too much value, holding on to either one of them when everybody is healthy. Miles Bridges played huge minutes, 41 minutes, 20 points, 2 blocks is nice. Continues to have decent value, top 40 player in my opinion. Gordon Hayward, 18 points and a block, a little bit everything. Also had an okay game, but another guy that I'll try to sell high if he plays well. The next game, Detroit. Man, they've been winning some games. Saw a post on Reddit today where Detroit actually had 5 wins in January already. That's pretty impressive considering they're actually 5-5 in the last 10. So they won a bunch of games. They won 5 games. Beat the Raptors. Raptors this game, they did not have bombs, Scotty Bombs. So they switched up the lineup where Ken Burge played 3 minutes. I think he got hurt. So with him out again, Chris Boucher obviously going to come in and play some minutes, and Precious Achiuwa going to play some minutes. So if you got Boucher still a whole, Precious Achiuwa, you could stream him for rebounds, and this is the only thing he provides really. And let's look at OG and Pascal Siakam. OG, no defensive stats this game. I mean, I think his best category is his steals, right? And then points maybe. But when he turned the ball over 5 times, this is not great. On the season, he still average very little turnovers. That's where a lot of his value comes from. But if he has a great game where he had 4 steals, I would try to trade him for a top 30 player. Pascal Siakam, 40 minutes, huge minutes, a block. Counting stat looks pretty solid, but bad from free throw line again. This has been a problem with him lately a lot. Scotty Bombs actually played. I apologize. Who did not play? Yeah, Gary Trent Jr. still out. He's been out for a while. He should be back soon though. Scotty Barnes is falling off. I would actually buy low. I'm pretty high on Scotty, even though when everybody's already back, but he should be like a top 60, top 70 type of player moving forward. A guy that could provide everything. So yeah, like if you can throw like a top 100, like if Jordan Poole plays well, try to do a Jordan Poole plus somebody, maybe a Franz Wagner for Scotty Barnes, because Barnes just got a higher upside. Try to do those trades. I think he's a buy low at the moment. With everybody back, he's gonna have to adjust. His usage is gonna be down, but he's still very solid. Defensive stats, rebound, hit some threes, and get assists as well. Fred VanVleet, well, one of his best, worst games in a while now. 24 points, still got 24 points, but really bad efficiency wise. Still got 10 assists and 2 steals. Overall, pretty solid. But the minutes is pretty high. He's young, I understand that, but I do worry. What happens if he gets hurt or what, or like just simply run out of gas when we get to the later half of the season. For Detroit, Sadiq Bey hit 3 threes, 15 points. Okay game. Hamidou Diallo is still starting. Jeremy Grant is going to be back, so his value, you could still hold on to him because he's still getting 25 minutes and put up okay lines, but it's going to be over very, very soon. Isaiah Stewart blocked 2 shots before he, committed 4 fouls. He's still a hold. It's going to be frustrating, but he blocked enough shots to hold in category leagues. Kate Cunningham, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. An okay game from Kate. Efficiency was great, this game, 53%. If he can improve that would be great. Counting stats is very solid. I think we all know that. Killian Hayes had 4 fouls. But if you don't care about the points, if you look at the rebound, assists, steals, and blocks, they are pretty solid. Trey Lyles is a streamer as well. Played 33 minutes. Had 2 steals and 2 blocks. Really went off 9 for 10 from the free throw line as well. He won't do this once guys start coming back. So pick him up, write it out. He's going to be inconsistent, but the minutes has been there. Right? Corey Joseph also played 26 minutes, but him, Josh Jackson, Saban Lee, who's a good fantasy player when given the minutes, just not at the moment. Let's look at the next game. The Phoenix Suns beat the Indiana Pacers, a blowout. Great. Mikal Bridges played 30 minutes and really bad game. The minutes is really good with him. He has every opportunity to put up numbers in the last 2 seasons, but he's just not doing that. So next year, I don't think he's a guy that I want to take inside of top 100, to be honest. Maybe 190 to 100 spot. I look to just pretty disappointing year after year. I'd rather prefer like from 60 to 80 or pick somebody with potential upside. Because upside with him is, you're supposed to be getting those defensive stats. You're not getting them, especially the steals. Jay Crowder played 30 minutes, had 11 rebounds. That's great. A steal and a block. He's a good streamer. DeAndre Ayton went off actually. Provided 12 rebounds, really good field goal, 2 steals and a block. Need more games like that. And he needs to block more shots, really. He's only averaging like 0.9 to like 1 blocks a game. He needs to do more. Devin Booker, 35 points. He's playing hard every single game. Top 50 player in my opinion. But the category he provides, you're not going to find them on the waiver wire. So you could trade for him for those points and free throws. It's just the stats he provides, you're not going to find them on the waiver wire. Chris Paul, solid. Really, the only things I look at, efficiency has always been solid with him, and then adding 9 assists and 2 steals. Cameron Payne had 5 assists. Okay, could be a streamer. That's all he is. For the Pacers, Justin Holiday, huge minutes, went off, 2 steals and 3 blocks. We could stream him, but in the last week or so, he really hasn't done much. Really good game here. If they got a good schedule, I think I'm okay streaming him. Miles Turner played just 28 minutes due to matchup reasons. Still good, 3 steals and 2 blocks and nothing else. This is Miles Turner. 3 steals is really nice. So Sabonis, Malcolm Brogdon always out. I'm looking to sell Sabonis high, but it's kind of tough because his rankings is not great, like 40, 50. But the counting stats he provided very, very solid. So when you try to sell high on him, who can really get back? If you can get like a equal value back if you're not pounding free throws. That's great. I do worry, like, these guys are pretty injury prone every season, and playing these high level minutes and usage, like, he's not gonna get that once Malcolm Brogdon comes back. This game's still very solid. Had a steal this year. Like, he's been getting like over 1 steal a game, which is pretty impressive for him. Like, over the years, he's never been a 1 steal guy. He's been doing that this season, so great. Karis LeVert still putting up very solid number. He's another guy that we should try to sell high with Malcolm Brogdon out. Just keep putting up really solid counting stats, but the efficiency is very suspect. If you got Russell Westbrook, I would look to buy him or try to trade him to a team with Russell Westbrook to get somebody else back. Ranking-wise, he's not going to be great, but counting stats very, very solid. So I prefer guys like that. So if you can get like efficient, if you can, I don't know. It really depends on your team. If you have an efficient team, I don't think having Karis LeVert on your team makes too much sense, or vice versa. All right, let's go to the next game. What a surprise! Celtics lost to the Sixers at home. After the game, Joel Embiid said, well, actually, he was being nice to them, offered them a word of advice, is that game plan for the Celtics is very easy. They just do ISO in modern NBA. One-on-one, a good one-on-one play is not regarded as a big of a threat as somebody like a Curry, who may not be the best one-on-one player, but his movement on the court just creates so much pressure on the defense. They have to communicate constantly. Where you have an ISO player, it's just so easy on them. Either load up on them or just let them shoot tough jumpers, right? So, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brunson, they're not working out. Like, the way they're playing right now is not really working out, which is why they've been struggling for the past 2 seasons. They got to figure out something. Change their offensive plan a little bit. And, like, if you're missing a lot of shots on the offensive end, then your defense is also going to struggle, right? Those missing shots give the other team opportunity to push. So it's all interconnected. Celtics, they have the talent, I think, on paper. 2 seasons have been very disappointing. Jason Tatum, 20 points. Fantasy-wise, this game is all right, but had 7 turnovers. And like Joel Embiid said, right, Sixers, they got the athletes to defend both guys. Amen, Jalen Brunson. So they turned the ball over a bunch. I think collectively, Sixers got 12 steals, right? So they generate a lot of steals and forcing a lot of turnovers as well. Al Horford, he's close to a job, but I would hold on to him. I'll play just 17 minutes because Robert Williams, it's tough to play him and Robert Williams together, to be honest. And then you have Jason Tatum and Jalen Brunson on the offensive end just running ISO plays. It's just not great. It's not great. Robert Williams played good, played well. 14 rebounds and a block, 12 points. Only blocked 1 shot, but still solid production and played over 30 minutes. Jalen Brunson, bad efficiency and nothing else, really. So he's a top 40 player, but a lot of his value is coming from the threes and the points he's providing. Threes, you can find a bunch on the waiver, but points is kind of hard. If your team with him, you're still losing points, I'll look to trade him. To get, trade him to get a Draymond Green, who is like a top 10 player if you're punting points and threes and free throw. That's a lot of categories, but hey, like, maybe you want to rebuild your team a little bit. If Jalen Brunson, you're just wasting his points. Dennis Schroeder, horrible. 0 for 6, just horrible. But with Marcus Smart out, he should have some value in the next few games, and try to sell him every opportunity you get. Let's look at the Sixers. Matisse Thybulle, really good. This is why you love him. 5 steals and 2 blocks. Also, you should try to sell him. He's inconsistent and sometimes just not gonna get enough minutes because it's situational. He's just absolutely negative on the offensive end and huge positive, very, very polarizing. And if the Sixers will ever down 20 points or 30 points, Doc Rivers is not going to give him 35 minutes, right? They're going to play Seth Curry. They're going to play like Furkan Korkmaz, But if they're up big, yeah, sure. You're going to play him. So his minutes is situational. I would, I'll try to do a 2-for-1, see if we can get any better value back. Tobias Harris, 17 points. Hasn't had a great game in a while now. Just every time I look at his stat, the minutes is there, the opportunity is there, but he has not been great this year, to say the least. Joel Embiid, he's scored over 30 points ever since he came back. Final had 25 points. Sure, who cares? 13 rebounds, 9 for 9, just continues to be a beast. And he's playing, he's healthy, all is good, all is well. Seth Curry, 17 and 7, it's fine to hold him. Really, really scary, really, really elite efficiency and makes a lot of threes. Tyrese Maxey played 38 minutes, which is high, had 23 points, but really nothing else. No rebounds, no blocks, like 0 rebound. That's kind of hard to do. Hit 5 threes, and again, a lot of his value coming from his efficiency. He's not doing like a lot of other stuff. Andre Drummond coming in, had 8 rebounds and a steal. Could be a streamer for rebounds in just 15 minutes. All right, let's go to the next game. This game was ugly. It's how interesting, Warriors, they were favored. Well, were they favored against the Grizzlies? They lost to the Grizzlies bad, and then they come back. They go to Chicago, beat the Bulls at Chicago by 40 points, which is pretty impressive. Even though Zach LaVine left the game early, but I don't think even if LaVine played it out, I think Warriors would have still won, right? Because actually he only played 3 minutes, so who knows? Andrew Wiggins, great game, 21 points, 6 assists. They're former teammates. Don't forget about that. Back when they were both on the Timberwolves. He played well against his former teammate, 21 points, very, very solid scoring wise. And Otto Porter Jr. had 5 steals in just 19 minutes. Who's got a lot of turnovers this game? Ayo Donsamu had 4 turnovers. Okay, so that's pretty impressive. But Otto Porter Jr. got absolutely 0 value. I don't think if you trade him, you're going to get anything back anyways. Kevon Looney played 24 minutes, had 12 rebounds and nothing else. It could be honestly, he doesn't even grab that many rebounds. But if the Warriors got a good schedule, you could look to stream him. But otherwise, I don't think I'm really interested in him. Jordan Poole, pretty impressive. He was a plus 38 in 28 minutes, had 22 points. He, if he goes off like this, try to sell him. If not, you could either drop him or you could, ride it out. Because he's going to have some opportunities every back-to-back. And who knows, if one of the key guys gets hurt, he's going to come in and play 30 minutes. And, it really depends. He offered pretty good free throws as well, which is hard to find on the waiver wire. But, now if he's just played 25 minutes, he's not going to get to the line all that often. So it's fine. You drop, if there's a hot waiver agent out there, and you can hold it as well, really. Curry just in 27 minutes, hit 4 threes and a steal. Fantasy-wise, he's been pretty underwhelming lately. I would look to buy low. To me, he's still a top. He's a tier below Jokic. He's that second tier. So if you can trade, so to me, I think Jokic is in his own tier, and then you have KD, Curry, Harden, Cat. These guys on a per game basis, they're in that tier because they're also pretty healthy for the most part this season, right? And then you have Jimmy Butler, per game basis, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, per game basis wise, they're all great, but they just get hurt way too often. All right, let's look at the Bulls side. So with Zach LaVine out, I think Kobe White could be picked up for have some streaming value. Who knows how long he's going to be out? Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. We don't know. So Kobe White can come in and score 17, 18 points a game, but don't expect him to do a lot of other stuff. But he got another steal yesterday, so that's great. Lonzo Ball did not have nobody played well other than Vooch, had 3 blocks and 14 rebounds. It's weird how he had one of his best games when his team got absolutely destroyed. DeMar DeRozan has not been great. If you sold high on him, congratulations. I don't think he was, going to maintain a top 20 player all season. Efficiency fell off quite a bit. And the counting stats also fell as a result. And the usage only took 10 shots this game. I guess he likes to do a lot of work. Maybe Warriors did a good job shutting him down, right? That's also, Warriors are a great defensive team. All right, let's go to the next game. The Atlanta Hawks lost to the Miami Heat at Miami. DeAndre Hunter could be picked up. Bogdanovich needs to be picked up. Same thing with Kevin Huerter with the Cam Reddish trade. But it's no guarantee that. Again, Hunter had a great game with insane efficiency again, but he's a guy that doesn't get a lot of defensive stats. So it's solid points. Now that he will start, and solid threes. Other than that, I don't think he provided. Well, last year I think before he got hurt, he was a top 50 player. But a lot of it is based on his insane efficiency. I don't think that's gonna continue. Consistently. But we could pick him up. John Collins, counting stat was never that impressive, to be honest. And okay game. And Gorgie Jane actually started this game instead of Okongwu. Both play 15 minutes, around 15 minutes. Okongwu is a guy we could continue to stream. Played just 60 minutes this game. Committed 4 fouls, but, in 25 minutes, 30 minutes, because he can block shots, if you're looking for blocks, he could be a good guy to have. Bogdanovich, not the best game, but he's still a hold. Trey had 24 points and 9 assists. 7 for 7 from the free throw line is great, and 3 threes. But again, no defensive stats and high turnovers. Trey, not a great fantasy player across 9 categories. So when you draft him, think about your strategy. Maybe just let go of the turnovers. Don't worry about it, or don't worry about the field goal. Although, always said, this guy, but he's been shooting 46% from the field this year. So you don't need to pound field, even though he takes 19, 18 shots a game. You don't have to pound field goals with him. But if there's a week he decided to throw you shooting 35%, then it'll be hard for you to win field goals that week. But then other weeks, he'll shoot 50%. So you don't have to pound field goals with him, I think some other guy, Donovan Mitchell actually has also been pretty good this year. Harden has been bad field goal. I think in those top elite players, he's a guy that Fred VanVleet was another guy that you probably want to pound field goals. But Fred VanVleet this year shooting 43.5%, so better than what he was before. Before he was shooting 39%, he would shoot 39, 40% from the field. Harden 41%, 16 attempts is pretty bad. He's the worst field goal guy inside that top. And LaMelo Ball is also there, 42%. And then the next side is Paul George inside in that top 15. So yeah, really this year Paul George, James Harden, and LaMelo Ball, those top players are really hurting your field goals, which is a surprise. Harden, I guess LaMelo Ball shouldn't be that surprised. He wasn't great efficiency wise, but Harden shot 46%. So 4% may not be much, but it could. Some weeks it could be the difference. Gallinari came in and played 34 minutes. We'll see how many minutes he get, and Kevin Huerter get 27. If Gallinari can get 30 minutes consistently, then we could have him in fantasy, in category leagues, especially because the free throws, he knows how to get to the line, and he knocks them down at a close to 90% rate. So I will monitor his minutes. Jimmy Butler, great, came back, played 32 minutes. Now, how many games can he play before he get hurt again? So we don't know. Let's see. Had 10 assists, which is great. 2 steals. I mean, whenever this guy plays, put up good numbers. No arguments there. PJ Tucker, 32 minutes. We're not really interested in him. Omer, his time is almost over. You're not gonna get any value, so just write it out. And when Ben comes back, just drop him. Just drop him. Yeah, when Ben comes back. Kyle Lowry, 8 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, 13 points, 3 threes. Solidly enough. Did a bit of everything. And Tyler Hero, 24 points and 4 threes. Yeah, Tyler Hero, if he can just get a bit more defensive stats, that would be really good. But points wise, he's pretty solid this year. Averaging close to 20 points. Points is hard to find on the waiver wire, but the defensive stats is really lacking. Hopefully, he could improve. In fact, that would really help his fantasy. All right, the next game, pretty impressive. Wow, actually, I thought they beat the Grizzlies. No, Cleveland beat the Spurs at San Antonio. I mean, still great, I suppose. Darius Garland, really good, 4 threes. And all the other starters did not take, other than Lauri Markkanen, they only attempted 1 3. Cavaliers only attempted 23s this game. Shot the 3 pretty well, 6 for 6 from the free throw line is also great. 8 assists, a steal, and a block. Somehow he had a block. Really good stuff from Darius Garland. Rest of the way, he should be in my opinion, should be a top 50 player ranking wise. But if he pounding turnovers, he could be like that top 30, top 35. He just turns the ball over way too much. Maybe close to 4 a game. Lamar Stevens, not really interested in him. Even though Isaiah Okoro came back, both guys not really doing much given the minutes. Jared Allen, field goal is great. 16 rebound is also great. Lauri Markkanen, a steal and a block. Borderline. If he ever has a good game, I look to trade him. And Evan Mobley played huge minutes, 39 minutes. While Kevin Love, he was hot for a while. If you sold high on him, congratulations. 16 points. But I do believe, he's going to have some good value, streaming value for sure. If you're looking for points and rebounds and threes. Evan Mobley played really high minutes, had a steal and a block, 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Bad from the free throw line, not the best game from him. But in fantasy, he's a guy that could do everything. Get assists as well. For the Spurs, Keldon Johnson had 18 points, 4 threes, and nothing else. This is the problem with Keldon Johnson is bad efficiency and no defensive stats. Like Tyler Hero, not great. And he obviously, the counting stat he provides he does provide some rebound to bit for him, but another guy that, hey, if you can get better value back, do a 2-for-1. Jacob Poeltl didn't score a point, but you don't get Poeltl for his points, right? 12 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Continues to be putting up pretty good numbers, like defensive numbers and rebound. Devin Vassell started. We could just write it out with him. When Derek White comes back, he might come off the bench, but if he get 30 minutes, we could at least stream him for some defensive stats. Had 2 steals here, which is fine. 2 threes, and 10 points. DeJounte Murray, huge game again. No defensive stats and bad from the free throw line, but 60% field goal and 23 attempts is huge. 14 rebound, 8 assists, continues to impress in fantasy. I don't know where he should be drafted next year. Counting stat wise, he's pretty solid. So maybe he's a second rounder. But maybe he would disappoint. I don't know. This year he's been so good. All right, let's go to the next game. Pretty impressive. The Mavericks went to Grizzlies. Consider they got blown out by the New York Knicks, and they played the Grizzlies. Then they blew them out. Grizzlies, they were on I think they were on 10-game winning streak. And they got beaten like that. It's pretty impressive. Doncic, he's back. Had some poor efficiency games. Really good here, but still had 6 turnovers. But triple-double regardless. Guess who went off this game? Jalen Brunson. 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 15 points, but most importantly, 5 steals. I don't think he's a great steals guy. He had 5 steals here. I would look to trade him. I really would look to trade him. Try to do a 2-for-1, see if we can get a top 50 player. And we look at healthy. His value is, probably in the 90 and 100. He provides some solid assist and some threes and some points, but everything else is not there. Maxi Kleber, I think, given the fact that Porzingis is going to play tonight, we could move on from him. And Dorian Finney-Smith just provide okay numbers. Had 1 3, a steal, and 13 points. Not the must roster guy you could have, but you could definitely stream it. The Mavericks got a great schedule. Definitely you could stream him. And Tim Hardaway Jr. had 3 3, 16 points. You know what he does. We all know what he does. Points and threes. For the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. played just 26 minutes. He's been getting a lot of defensive stats. This game, again, I think he's been struggling with his shot all season now. And Steve Adams came back, played off bench, had 2 steals and 2 blocks. I think that's actually not playing Steven Adams with Jaren Jackson Jr. helps Jaren Jackson Jr.'s value. Because if he play at the center, he block a lot more shots. He get more defensive stats as well. So yeah, we'll see if they're gonna start him. In this game they started Brandon Clark. We could continue to stream Brandon Clark, but if you're looking for that rebounds and field goal, well, this game Steven Adams is back, so maybe not. Maybe not. He plays just 20 minutes. Zara Williams played 29. He's not really a good fantasy player, and Desmond Bain can keep it going. Played just 29 minutes, but hit 1 3. Not the best game, but with Dylan Brooks out, because his game is pretty relevant in fantasy, great efficiency, hit a lot of threes, get defensive stats. There's not really one category where he's a huge negative. And he's hit so many threes, so good. I think he's top 50, 60. whenever Dylan Brooks comes back, and maybe become 70, 80 when Dylan Brooks comes back. Either way, uh, definitely beat a lot of the guys' expectation this year. Ja Morant had 2 steals, that's great, 19 points, but had 8 turnovers. Not the best game from Ja. He, to improve in fantasy, he's got to get more steals, more defensive stats, and hit more threes as a guard. But like points and assists, they're already pretty solid. This game, Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton. DeAnthony Melton, I don't think he's a must roster. I think we could stream him, but definitely not a must roster. The minutes is too inconsistent with this guy. And even with Dylan Brooks out, he just get 10 minutes. So that's never good. All right, let's go to the last the night. We got the Houston Rockets lost to the Kings. Okay. Kevin Porter Jr. had a decent game. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. But efficiency 44% is not bad. Made his only free throw and 2 steals. It's okay, If he can do this more often, that would be great. Jalen Green, 11 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. Really didn't do much. He's fine to hold, but I have my doubts on him. If he can turn it around later this season, I don't think so, to be honest. Christian Wood, 26 points is great, 4 threes, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals and block is also great. Pretty good game from Christian Wood, considering he only played 26 minutes and had 5 fouls. Jason Tate just put up great numbers. But again, if you can do a 2-for-1, package him to get somebody, because the minutes with him is not consistent. For whatever reason, sometimes he plays just 25, and obviously his production is not consistent either. But he will have games like this. So try to trade him once he goes off like this. Do a 2-for-1, see if anybody bites. Eric Gordon went off last game. This game, he's still starting for whatever reason. Still could be like a streamer for 3 and points, but he doesn't provide anything else. And Kenny Martin Jr. and Garrett Matthews, I don't think we want to stream them even. The minutes is not there, and Emperor Shangun came back. Same thing. Minutes is just too low. 20 minutes, now those guys, you want to stream them even, to be honest. For the Kings, Harrison Barnes played okay, and they got the win, so that's always great. 16 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. That provided a bit of everything in this game, and great efficiency. Marvin Bagley went off this game versus the bad Rocket team, 26 and 13, but we all know he's not going to do this. On most nights, he just provides 7 rebounds, and that's it. That's all he does. Chimezie Matthews started, played just 13 minutes. Richaun Holmes should be back soon, so if you were streaming him, he's got no value. Even if he played 30 minutes, there's no guarantee he's going to put up numbers. And this game, man, Tyrese Halliburton only took 8 shots, had 12 assists and 6 rebounds. That's nice. But he was putting up some great numbers with De'Aaron Fox out. This game, De'Aaron Fox played really well. 27 points, really good efficiency. 3 for 6 from the free throw line is not, but 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. Him, De'Aaron Fox in the last 2 weeks. Let's see where he's at. Again, because the bad free throw, 107th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. So, average 25 points. That's great, and a steal 50% from the field, and shooting 77% from the free throw line and only 2.6. So that's decent. But even with that great efficiency and 25 points, he's just across 9 category leagues. He's just 107th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. But lately, it's getting better. So if you own De'Aaron Fox, I guess you're not that disappointed. He's being provided pretty solid numbers, especially the points. And Tyrese Halliburton, obviously, this is not ideal. The fact that he only took 8 shots. But a lot of his value, he's still the 45th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. 14 points, 2.3 threes, 3.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists. Yeah, if he can maintain that 8 assists with his current efficiency and only turn the ball over 1.9 times, he's still like a top 40, 50 player. Just super, super efficient, provide a lot of assists. Most importantly, like the assists, you don't really find a lot of assists on the waiver wire. And the steals, you get a lot on the waiver wire, but he can get you 1.6 steals, right? He can get you maybe 0.6, 0.7 blocks as well. Great efficiency everywhere, and don't turn the ball over. That's a recipe for success in fantasy. Buddy Hield, 32 minutes, so that's great. We're just going to continue holding him. He was close to a drop. He really was. He was getting like 20 minutes for like 3-4 games, and then the coach woke up and decided to give him 30 minutes now. So, but again, like he might lose minutes later on. For now, he's obviously a must roster. Try to sell high on him. If let's say next game he scored 30, try to sell him. See if you can. All right, that's it for all the games, guys. I will see you tomorrow.